Apparently, Call of Duty can't be marketed with Game Pass to a huge degree with Xbox. And Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2 seem to be coming along quite nicely. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you in another video. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple things. Call of Duty, we got Obsidian. We got the biggest first-person shooter, arguably in history. And we got the Black Rock Obsidian, arguably Xbox's best studio. And yes, I'm saying it. You can fight me in the comment section, that's fine. But arguably their best studio. We got some stuff when it comes to them. Now let's go straight into the Avowed thing, because I feel like the Call of Duty thing's gonna take a little bit more time. Let's go straight to the Avowed situation. Well, it's not Avowed. It's a variety of a bunch of things. But as you can see here, Clobro, he has broken up some of the conversation that was put into it. I highly recommend you guys go watch the actual video. But let's just break down a little bit what was said in this interview. Individuals, I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because I know for a fact already, just looking at that sucker, I'm going to butcher it. But him on the Outer Worlds 2 development is going really well. I'm really impressed with the team. We have people on this project that just get it and worked on the first game. We had a hard time at the studio during COVID. We tried to move forward with all these projects. There was talks about scrapping the Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded and just throw the whole team out of Valve. I appreciate Microsoft and all the teams. We sat down together and said, no, we will get there. Not on the original timeline, but we will get there. And I think now that has been proven. Grounded turned out awesome. Pendament turned out awesome. Avowed's going to be great. And the Outer Worlds 2 looks incredible. We have base now with base now with everything we are doing with the Unreal Engine 5 and all of our tools in place. We make the whole next generation of games. So essentially, being said here is which is the thing I want to say is, like, there was talks to canceling the Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded, probably not necessarily canceling. He used the term scrapped. I would actually probably say would be more, on focus, is that it was probably going to put those on the back burner. Now, would they pick them back up after Avowed? I don't know. I saw some people make on the comment section. They said that they wish they would have done that. And I don't agree with that, because I think the Outer Worlds is a fantastic approach on games like, Fallout. Really good game. The Outer Worlds 1 was a fun experience, and I'm so glad that Xbox and Microsoft allowed Obsidian to break those internal numbers, that street date that they have, because these games come out in the direction they have for reasons. From it is to, they want return on investments. They want to hit a certain, threshold in terms of, what's what I'm looking for? They want to make sure a certain financial quarter does better than others. And not necessarily that, you got a big game coming out. You want that in the holiday financial, or maybe even, push back to the summer, because you might be a little bit lacking in that financial year. So what's interesting is, even of all that, because I'm sure it would have made more sense for Xbox to just rush out a half-made product to try to get some form of return on investment. But one thing I want to give Xbox credit, which you guys act like I don't, but I always give credit where credit is due, is the fact that it does seem like Xbox and Microsoft are very open to the idea, because they have so many games in development. They have so many games that are about to be made. They're okay with making those decisions to push something back a tremendous amount of time, because they know that you're going to be able to still deliver games in these time frames. They're still going to have titles coming out during the holiday, during the summer, during some of the dry months, because of the amount of studios that they have. So it's easier for them to make those decisions. That's what I see here. I see Microsoft and Xbox knowing, because they have all of these studios in their back pocket making games, that they're able to give games like the Outer Worlds to, some more time to be in development, especially when you look at something like COVID, pandemic. Most of these studios aren't designed to do what they were doing during the pandemic. They just weren't. Most of the time, a lot of these studios having situations like the pandemic had where they're not necessarily designed for a work from home. I'm sure there was some of these studios not being worked on for a sizable amount of time, a couple months at least, just to get the infrastructure together to make this type of game from home. I'm sure they had to send laptops and computers out. I'm sure they had to set up an infrastructure in general. You know, they had people come together, figure out how can they make this land where they're able to work from home. And I think, you know, that helped the industry in some ways and it hurt the industry in some ways. I do feel like the pandemic showed studios that they can work from home in more of a capacity than we thought before the pandemic. So that's pretty much what it comes to that. You know, Outer Worlds is an amazing franchise. I hope that Outer Worlds 2 keeps the core aspect of that and they built onto it. And Avowed too. Avowed's just Avowed, man. You know, I look at Avowed, I see a fun time. And I can't wait to get my hands on Avowed next year in February. Now let's talk about Call of Duty. We know that Microsoft did a lot of stuff to get that brand. Now, was it all for Call of Duty? No. They wanted King. They wanted, you know, just the aspect of Blizzard in general. And they wanted Call of Duty as well. You know, you put all these together, it makes the most sense that Microsoft and Xbox would be the one to go out and pursue a company like ABK, because it kind of like generates everything they need. You know, they got Activision, which is mainly Call of Duty, and they obviously bought a bunch of IPs like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, but a lot of that I would say is for the console market. Now, was it entirely for the console market? No, but I would say the ABK was for the console market, and Blizzard was mainly for the PC market. WoW, Overwatch, StarCraft. There's so much infrastructure in there that they're able to capitalize with the PC crowd, and I think that's one of the issues that they win in that as well. And then you got King, is one of the biggest distributors of mobile gaming. So it makes sense that they would buy all these, but when they got them, we kind of wondered what is going to be some of the middle grounds that they have to make with, you know, the FTC, the CMA, because it didn't look like it was being passed and all of a sudden it got passed. And I always felt like there was some concessions that wasn't really made public. Well, it looks like there actually was to a degree. Now, keep in mind, all of this is on my own show, Iron Lords Podcast, and I want to just go over what was pretty much essentially said on this show. Now, essentially what was said is they're not allowed to promote Game Pass and Call of Duty to a huge degree. Is that fair? No. Microsoft bought ABK. They should be able to promote that however they want, because to me, it makes more sense for Xbox to really capitalize with Call of Duty and Game Pass. Now, we can make the argument that they don't really necessarily need that Game Pass slogan on everything. Now, I will agree. To me, and maybe you guys can disagree in the comment section below, I'm sure some of you will, as much as Game Pass with Call of Duty is important, I feel like the marketing is just as much important. It's not a coincidence. Every generation of console has won the generation in terms of sales on the hardware. Why? Because the majority of casuals play Call of Duty. Where was Microsoft lacking last generation and this generation? They don't have the casual audience as much as they used to during something like the 360 era. They didn't have Call of Duty marketing almost entirely last generation. I think they had it one game. I think that was Ghosts. They had it one game, and they haven't had it none this generation. And I don't think people really put enough respect on that marketing. Game Pass and Call of Duty is going to be huge. But being able to put your logo at the end of every Call of Duty commercial, even though if it's not exclusive, that's all that's going to matter. Because when you have the casual audience watch that, they're gonna link Call of Duty to Xbox. There's a reason that during the 360 era, they were so extra with Call of Duty because they know that works. You know, Cognito has a thing. He calls it the Sinister Six. The games in the industry that are never not played. These are the ones that I remember: 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, Roblox, Fortnite, and I can't remember the other one. But Microsoft's owning a couple of these at this point, especially Minecraft and Call of Duty. Warzone is massive, and they own that. So to me, you can start captivating. You can start using these stuff to your advantage. And I think you're going to see a lot of that. Look, I may have an issue with the way Xbox and Microsoft are handling the hardware point of Xbox. And I might have an issue with the way that they went out and they spent all this money and they can't even market Call of Duty to the degree they should be marketing it because of the concessions that it looks like they made. Can you keep in mind, all this is up in the air. No, nothing's been confirmed. It's just been speculation. He said, she said. But no one can deny the power of Call of Duty. No one can deny the power of marketing Call of Duty. And I think this time next year, no one's going to be able to deny Call of Duty in Game Pass. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear your guys' opinion. Did you guys want the Outer Worlds 2? Or do you think they should have put everything into Avowed? I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed could both exist. We don't need one or the other. And I think we should want a variety of types of games. And tell me what you guys think of Call of Duty. Do you think it was wise to make these kind of concessions where they can't even market Call of Duty to the degree that they should be and they're not allowed to? Or do you think maybe they should have just let Call of Duty and that $68 billion or whatever it was go with it, and then they maybe take that money and buy smaller publishers? I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. Definitely follow me on Twitter at Lord Addict IOP, and I do a streaming channel, Addict Arena. All that's in the description below. We go up there. We talk about daily conversations, daily gaming topics. We talk about with the community, and we have some good vibes in there, man. But without any further ado, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. You guys have a good one. Peace.